A wise man once said, whilst in the place of prayer, once people declare war on their enemies, he would normally excuse himself out of there. And I thought it was one of the most profound statements, mostly because I wish I were that honorable. Now, let's be honest, can you truly pray for your enemies? I once read a book. I tell a lie, I've read it numerous times. It's actually saved on my phone. But anyway, it's a two-part book based on Christian fiction. It's called This Present Darkness and Piercing the Darkness. I really like this book because it gives an insight as to how negative entities can influence people to take negative actions. So in the second part of the book, a little girl attended a Christian school. Now, the principal of that school was also the head pastor of a church. I don't remember her name, but she called herself Amethyst whenever she had a manic episode. So there was a day a lady attended the school, and she suddenly started pointing at the lady and attacking the lady and saying to the lady, "You killed your baby, you killed your baby." Now, this was something that actually happened to the lady 10 years before then. Now, at that time, Amethyst was 6. There was absolutely no way she could have had that information. And when the principal and the other teachers tried to calm her down, she completely lost it. She was hitting her head on the wall, she was scratching, she was screaming. However, when she got home, she accused the principal of inflicting those bruises on her, right? And well, the mother took it up with the authorities, and the principal was suspended from the school and from the church. His kids were taken away. He was sued to court. His reputation was completely destroyed, and his life was destroyed over lies. Now, what was he to do? Was he to pray against a 6-year-old child, or the powers influencing her to do those things? Now, there are two major reasons why you should pray for your enemies. The first is because hurt people hurt people. Most of the time, it's not personal. It's based on projections. People that hurt other people are operating from their shadow side, and this can stem from something that happened to them in their childhood, or even more recent times. Imagine a person that grew up in abject poverty, that needs a job position to survive, contending for that same position with somebody that grew up privileged. They'll feel anger in their heart and want to inflict some sort of pain on that person. Or imagine a woman that has been dumped by every partner she's ever dated, watching another woman or a friend being pampered and adored by their spouse. It will definitely ignite some sort of jealousy in them. And then when they strike negatively, one is expected to pray for them. How do you pray for a woman that removes another woman from her matrimonial home and renders her homeless and penniless, even with children? Or a person that destroys another with lies and false accusations? Or a person that goes as far as unaliving another person to take what belongs to them? It's difficult to pray for them, but it's for your own good because it helps you overcome resentment and bitterness. If you hold on to unforgiveness, your hands are occupied, which means your blessings will pass you by. Remember the word from the Bible that says, "Go and make peace with your brother before you come back into my presence." The second reason to pray for your enemies is because God is not man. He can place your blessings in the hands of those enemies and use them to bless you. Now, if you pray for their destruction, you can kiss your blessings goodbye. A man named Mephibosheth in the Christian religion was a grandson to King Saul, who was a sworn enemy of David. Now, throughout the days of King Saul, he tried endlessly to take David's life, to no avail, even until the day he passed away in battle. Now, King Saul's son, Jonathan, who happens to be Mephibosheth's father, was actually a friend to David. He helped him endlessly to escape his father's wrath. After King Saul and Jonathan were unalived in battle, David became king. Now, at the time, he was expected to destroy the dynasty of the opposition, which was Saul's family, because any living and breathing relative will pose as a threat. Instead, David sought out Mephibosheth to bless him. Now, Mephibosheth was handicapped, he was crippled. And in those days, people of his condition were usually hidden away, even though he was of royalty. But it was considered negative omen to bring a lame person close to the king. There was a saying in Jerusalem that the blind or the lame could not enter the palace. But David returned Mephibosheth to the palace to eat at the king's table forever and restored his name, his identity, his land, and all that he had lost. Now imagine if Mephibosheth had inherited David as an enemy. He never would have received all his blessings. So I'm saying to you, is it truly easy to pray for your enemies? Absolutely not. We're all human at the end of the day. But be of the understanding that if you do pray for them, it's ultimately for your own good. Namaste.